Causal mediation. It's something that reviewers ask for all the time. Colleagues will ask you whether you've looked at whether the causal effect of a treatment A on an outcome Y operates through some measured mediators M. When they ask this question, people often are schooled in a train of thought that thinks mediation is as simple as asking another regression model. You might estimate a model where you have your treatment A and a bunch of confounders, and then you add your mediator to the model and see how the coefficient on the treatment A changes. But recent research in causal mediation has highlighted that this is actually not a valid approach to causal mediation in many realistic settings. Causal mediation really involves questions about how an outcome would change if we hypothetically set a treatment to one value and a mediator to another possible value. These potential outcomes are identified only if we have some unmeasured confounding assumptions about how the treatment is related to the potential outcomes and the mediator is related to the potential outcomes. In some cases, we need joint assumptions about how the treatment and mediator together are related to the potential mediator values and potential outcome values. Mediation is strictly more difficult than average causal effect estimation in almost all realistic settings. So we have a few videos that introduce controlled direct effects and natural direct effects. These will sometimes become complicated. Sometimes they will rely on assumptions that you find to be highly doubtful in your setting. It might be hard to assume that there are no unmeasured mediator outcome confounders, for example. In general, a good approach with mediation is to be open to the possibility that the answer is that you really shouldn't ask a mediation question. There are lots of good questions that can be asked about average causal effects, and those are entirely valid ways to go about your research design. There are other settings where the real research question requires you to answer a question about mediation. In those settings, you should go for it and use the newest methods for causal mediation. But when you do so, you should be aware that these methods are going to require very strong assumptions, and you should think carefully about how they may or may not hold in your setting.